folks, I'm the Bald Guy, and these are Bald Guy Basics. From my previous videos, you've probably already ascertained that I am a pretty big fan of polish, and especially using leather. I call it my hand strop for polishing. I also had a strop on my belt sander, and after months and months of use, I finally snapped my strop. But today I want to show you, with the most basic things that you probably already have around the house, how you can make a hard strop that is really advantageous around your own shop. So, what are some of the things you need? Well, if you're like me, I wear out belts regularly. When you wear out a belt, especially if it's a leather belt, don't throw it away. So I've got a piece of belt. I've already cut a piece off the end of this, but this is a belt with a kind of I don't want to call it patent leather, but it's a high polished leather finish. I simply flipped it over, put it on my big 6-inch belt sander, and just abraded that. I didn't even get down to the stitching, but now I've made myself a strop strap. Second thing you're going to need, you know what this is. You can tell by the moniker on it. It's just a paint stick. Here's the short version. Here's one of my strop straps. When I broke the strap off of my 1x30 sander, rather than throwing it away, I cut it into sections. I take the sections, and the first thing I did is just got a scrap piece of wood, not even a paint stick, and just applied a layer on the wood of Gorilla Glue, kind of brushed it out to spread it even, put another layer on the back of my strop strap, and boom, I've got a hard strap. Laid my strip on there, and then flipped it over and weighted it down and let it set all night. So I've made a couple of straps. Here is one that is with that patent leather finish still on the belt, the glossy finish. And I've got other leather here, so I've made some with a more, it's a raw finish. I want to call it suede, but it works so greatly. Now, to illustrate just how dramatic a difference there is, I went into my drawer and pulled out a pair of these Harbor Freight snips. They're scissors, and they put these things on sale all the time for like 99 cents. That may even be the regular price. But I was looking at them and I realized, my goodness. Well, I'm going to have to show you both blades. I've polished one blade, not for the purpose of making it pretty, but just to remove the corrosion. See the two blades? On this side, I've got polished metal, and that metal is extremely bright along the edge. And on this side, I hope you can see this. I know that this camera's not the best for this. Let me flip around and show you the back. See how dirty this side is compared to this side? Simply taking your strop strap and putting a little paste of any metal paste. Now, I've been showing off my case paste, which, by the way, I told you could get it for 10 bucks, but I went back and started to look, and those sources have disappeared. I did find one fellow that was selling on eBay for like $12. That's including shipping. But I found others that were like $25. So if you will read the reviews of metal paste, you'll find that it's good for like chrome. If it says chrome, you're good because you're going to get a mirror finish. But I simply take my hand strop and rub it along the blade. This blade, these are shop scissors, and this blade had been used for everything. Can you see the difference there just on the edge? I've not polished the material here, the body of it on either side, but I had no idea that in the course of just everyday use, how much debris, how much trash, how much corrosion kind of builds up on these blades. Now, the reason I know this, years ago I worked in the furniture factory. I left in '97, so we're 25 years out since I left. And I bought a number of upholstery shears along the way. These are a pair of Marks scissors. I've got Wiss scissors, which never had a mirror finish. But the thing you always notice in upholstery is when you get into a little corner, you want the edge of your snips, your scissors, to work wonderfully. And in both of mine, over the years, the edges had really gotten to where your cut stopped a quarter of an inch or so back from the end. Well, that is not to your advantage as an upholsterer. But I went and just rubbed the debris off of these scissors and cleaned them up. And you see, these things were really dark. But what it did, it made that with no problem. I didn't have to kind of hold the scissors at that correct angle. It made the scissors sharper. And that's the first cut I've made with these. What have I got on here? A piece of trash off of that belt. But you see how those cuts go through paper towel? And paper towel, for me, will show you when a scissor doesn't work, because it was so easy for it to bend. And I mean, this, it just goes, I can't even feel it. It's going through it so well. So a great use around your shop for your strops is anything that cuts, not for the sake of polishing it, but for the sake of keeping debris off of the cutting edge of your blade. So if you have a knife, where's my old-fashioned utility knife? When you're working on something and you're cutting and you're cutting and cutting, I keep a little compound, a polishing compound, a few strokes, and I have honed that knife back to its pristine state. So a strop strap, I call these hard straps. These are available on Amazon. You can look them up easier than I can. They're $5, $6, $7, $8 and up, depending on depending on what they printed on there. But we've got a box over here. When we paint, we always save, you know, our materials. And I must have 10 or 12 of these paint sticks. You can order paint sticks online. You can get 100 of them for, you know, I forget, just a few dollars. But I don't need 100, but I've made several strop straps here. And I wanted different materials. So I've got one with this slick leather, which is going to give me a much finer, very light hone. I've got this one with the raw leather. It's going to give me a little more aggressive hone, but none of these will leave a mark on the metal that you're polishing. So it makes a really wonderful thing. And if you've got cutting implements around your shop in your toolbox, once a year, take them out. Polished side, unpolished side. And you can see unpolished and polished. You, I hope, can see the tremendous buildup that happens from everyday use. Some of the things I've used these for include cutting things here in the shop, but you know, you're working on a lawnmower and you want to cut off a piece of corroded fuel line, boom, you've got some fuel on it. And if you're working on a lawnmower or a tractor or anything like that, you're bound to have some oil, some grease on your hands. All of that stuff transfers, and you do what I do. We grab a good old shop rag, we wipe over it, and we go on to the next project. But I was amazed, just kind of playing with my polishing kit here, how much difference it makes. So, paint stick, an old belt of just about any kind of finish, as long as it's a leather belt, makes a great strap. Just glue them together. And what I do, let me show you something. What I do is I lay my stick down and I put a block on top of it, and then I put my weight on it. This thing must weigh 10 pounds. Let you hear. That's how heavy this thing is. It's a wrench for working on some kind of a bulldozer. And so it's more decorative here than anything else, but it makes a great weight. Place it down there. A few hours later, I come back and I have a nice, even seal all the way across, and it just works great. So in your shop, don't be afraid to have a few little extras around that makes your tool stand out just a little bit more than the average Joe's. I am an average Joe, but I go by the moniker of the Bald Guy, and these are Bald Guy Basics. I hope if you like this video, you will hit that like button. I hope that you'll subscribe for more such videos, and we will see you again at the next video. Good day.